Greetings and welcome to Theology, Geek, Fitness. I'm Jonathan Pritchett, and in this video I'm going to give my review of the Surge 60 from BOSU. Now, I got this last year around August, back when it was called the Storm 60, and it was sold by a company. They were called Headstrom Fitness or Surge Strong Performance Fit. I don't know. It seems like they had two different names or whatever. It's not the best way to market your company when you can't even let your customers know what the name of your company is. But nonetheless, they were selling this product, and I was using resistance bands for a few months about that time, and I was really going to commit to using home gear, and I was going to commit to using non-traditional items, and just see how far I could go with these home fitness products, the ones that caught my attention. And I really liked my band workouts, but I wanted to incorporate weighted gear. I didn't want to spend the kind of money to get the dumbbells or the plates and the rack and the bench and the bar, all of that. I wasn't going to do that. I was going to stick to let's see how far I can go with this kind of stuff. But I did want some weighted stuff because I love, weighted gear. And one of the things that you miss with resistance bands, at the bottom of the rep is where the least amount of tension is. Now, that's always described as a selling point, that, it follows your natural strength curve, variable resistance, all of that. But sometimes you just miss that heft at the bottom. And so I wanted some types of things that I could incorporate into my band training that would give me that where it lacked, and see what I could do with that. Now, when I was checking this out, before I decided to have my wife buy it for me for an anniversary gift, I was confused about the whole thing, because you watch the videos, and they're marketing videos for these, and people are doing all kinds of weird stuff with it. And you watch the exercise videos on their website, and you're just like, yeah, that's not really what I'm interested in doing. And of course, they talk about how it's scientifically designed to do blah, 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 blah. And, we live in the follow the science age these days. But I'm just like, yeah, it ranged from like super high intensity explosive movements to weird, slow, controlled stuff. And I was like, what's the point of all this? And so I think that, as valid as some of that stuff may be, I have no idea. As valid as some of that stuff may be, it probably turned a lot of people off to their products, because you're like, what am I watching here? What are you doing with that? But I watched some other videos, and I came across, I think her name was Trainer Caitlin, and she had a coupon code, which I actually went to BOSU's website, since they acquired that company, Surge Performance or Headstrom, whatever they were called. And her coupon code works at the BOSU website too. So if you're interested in this, you can go watch one of her videos where she's used, I think in her videos they were, unless they changed the titles, her videos were Storm. I think she was working with the Storm 40, because they have the Storm 40 or the Surge 40 and the Surge 60. The 60 holds 60 pounds worth of water. The 40 caps out at 40 pounds worth of water. But I obviously was going to get the 60 version, because, I'm, as my daughter calls me, a bro chad, or whatever that means. And so, being a manly man, I'm going to get the heaviest one. And when I ended up getting it, after I watched a couple of videos of other people doing stuff, and I saw a guy do a full workout with it, and I was like, yeah, that's more what I'm interested in, except for incorporating the bands and stuff. And so I went ahead and got it. And when I first got the product, I was like, yep, filling it all the way up, and this was like, oh, that was a mistake. So I poured some of the water out, and so I actually started at 40 pounds and then have added water ever since to cap it out. But it doesn't necessarily cap out at 60, because of two things. It feels a lot heavier than 60 pounds. And of course, when you incorporate resistance bands into using it, you can, it now begins at 60 pounds. If you leave the water in it at full capacity, it starts at 60 pounds, and whatever size band you're grabbing increases the resistance from there. course, in this video, you won't see me using resistance bands because I'm going to do a whole separate video on incorporating bands in it and show you how you can use this in conjunction with bands. And the reason I didn't put any of that in this video is my videos are typically long as they are when I'm talking about stuff, and two, I'm a YouTuber, so I need more content, so I'm going to save all that for a different video. But after I saw that other people were doing similar things that I wanted to do with it, instead of what the company was advertising you can do with it, I'm not going to stand on a BOSU, which is like a half exercise ball balance trainer on one leg, and do weird motions with it. As awesome as they are, if you have that thing filled with water, there's no way I can do it anyway. So, or I'd have to work myself up to it. But yeah, I'm not doing the weird stuff that you see in their old, and even with BOSU, some of their advertising. I'm doing the stuff, I'm just doing basic movements, I want to do deadlifts with it. I want to do squats with it. I want to do calf presses with it. I want to do chest presses with it. I want to do shrugs. I'm going to just do basic stuff, right? That's what I'm into. Using weighted gear in conjunction with bands, or not, if I don't want a band for a particular exercise. Just see what I can do with it. So I got it. Started out with just 40 pounds of water in it, and I also got the hydro balls. You can see I have two. You can't see them back there. You can see the Surge 60 back there sticking up with the red end cap, and it's got a Hydro Ball 12. I have two of those, and I have two Hydro Ball 25s. And I love those two. I'll get a review for those separately as well. More content, right? So I got it, and you can get a great total body workout with it. I love the shifting weight aspect of it, like a sandbag. And I have a sandbag. I have a 50-pound sandbag right now it's adjustable up to 50 pounds, and I'll do a review on that. And then this caps out, unless you start adding bands to it, at 60. So it's the heaviest thing that I own as far as the weighted gear, which is basically the Hydro Balls, the Surge 60, the sandbag, and then I have a weight vest and some wrist/ankle weights that I use for various stuff. But it's the heaviest thing I have, but like I said, it just feels heavier than like a static weight that's 50 pounds heavier in actuality. This thing feels heavier than that. It's a challenge to use, and I like it. My family, we have a nice little house in the suburbs, not a big house, but a nice one. And we turned our backyard into our little homesteader farm. So I'm carrying bags of chicken feed, and it's kind of like having a sandbag, because 50-pound bags, the weight shifts and stuff. And so that's a lot of fun, but I can't throw those bags around because they'd probably bust and get chicken feed all over the place. So I like that kind of thing. And I like sandbags too, and I'll do a video comparing the two. There's another idea for content, to keep pushing out content, right, and not give it all away in the same video. So I'll compare and contrast this with a sandbag, and I like both. So with this, you can get a pretty good, solid total body workout with it, even just doing traditional movements with the added challenge of the shifting weight. You can work your legs in all kinds of ways. You can work your chest, you can work your shoulders, you can work your arms, you can even work your back, though back is probably the most limited, given the type of thing that it is. You've got pulling movements like rows and stuff, but I also will do a video on how to add a pulley to this thing, and that will show you how you can do some lat pull downs and stuff like that to add more variety to it. Take this thing, it's a weighted thing, and then you just incorporate a pulley like you incorporate bands, and you can get even more out of it. And being creative like that is a lot of fun for me too, getting the most out of this stuff. So I like it because you can work your total body with it. I like that it engages my core on just about every exercise I do with it. Much more than even just using weights at the gym or using resistance bands. I mean, that thing is a challenge. I like it that it's built like a tank. Other than some scuff marks it gets on the end caps, just minor cosmetic damage. It never leaks. It feels like you can drop it off the 13th floor of this building where I'm working, and it would hit the ground and not a drop of water would bust from it. I mean, it's just built rock solid. So all of those things put together, I just really love this thing. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, I have not gotten to the point where it, in conjunction with my bands, has capped out to where I need something else. I'm still challenged regularly by it, and I've got a long way to go with it. So I love it. As far as any negative things about it, I will say that it's not quite as adjustable as you might think, because even though it doesn't leak, one of the reasons why is because it's the cap that you can, it's more like a plug really, is so solid that it does take a little bit to get that thing off. And then of course you don't want to waste water constantly. Oh, well, I want to do these kinds of exercises and it'd be easier if the thing was lighter, so let me dump out. That's why for me, I could probably do a lot more of the exercises that are either recommended or even not recommended, that I could come, just doing even more basic movements, if it was more adjustable. But it's just not convenient. And of course you don't want to waste water. So I suppose I could have a bucket where I poured the water from the Surge into it, and then when I wanted it heavier again, pour out. But that's just kind of a hassle. So I just leave it at the weight that it's at and just try to, as I get stronger and more developed, just be able to incorporate movements that I couldn't do prior with it unless it was lighter. So it's not as adjustable as you might think, and it would just be more of a hassle to keep adjusting the water back and forth. So that's a con. But that's about the only con that I can think of. But that's not a problem for me for what I'm doing with it anyway. Would I buy it again? Absolutely. I would definitely buy it again. It's a blast to use. It's one of my favorite things. Is it optimal compared to like weights? No, but that's not the point. I don't want it to be. I don't, a static weight is probably more optimal for that. But, that plus resistance bands, variable resistance and shifting weight at the same time. Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah, I'm having fun. That's what I'm doing. Is it for everyone? Probably not. To be honest with you, probably not. Would anyone could have fun with it, but I mean, should you go out and buy it with the coupon code, it's about $100 from the website if you get Trainer Caitlin's coupon code, which still works at the BOSU website. Or I've seen it for like around $90 on Amazon. So it's not going to be for everyone. But if you are looking for an alternative to a sandbag, or if you're looking for some weighted gear that you can use that's going to be different than just using a bar and weight plates or whatever, yeah, go for something like this. If you're like me and you want to just see what you can do with this kind of stuff and get creative with it, you want to do, offbeat type fitness training, I guess is a way to put it. Yeah, get it. Yeah, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And you don't have to fill it all the way. You don't have to use it like I use it. You can try their exercises that came with it. You can follow some of these HIIT workouts that don't really put a lot of water in it and wear yourself out. You will. It's a challenge, even at a third capacity or half capacity or whatever. It's a challenge. Like I said, you can the 60 pounds, you could easily handle 40 to 50 more pounds of static weight easier than you can handle this thing at 60 without even adding bands in it. But you can get a full body workout with it, pairing it with bands or not. It's a great thing to add some variety. Like I've said in previous videos, I'm not a minimalist. And this is the kind of thing that, even though I was initially turned off by some of what the original company was demonstrating with it, I'm really glad that I discovered other videos and seeing what other people were doing with it that was more in line with where I wanted to go with it, and mimicking certain sandbag movements and things like that with it as well. It's great fun. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did and you liked it, click the like button. If you didn't like it, click the dislike button. Don't care either way. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and click the notification bell and watch some more of our videos here on Theology, Geek, Fitness. You may find them useful. And if you want to support what we're doing financially, you can go to patreon.com/theologygeekfitness, and all the money from patrons will be reinvested into the patrons and into the channel itself to help it become better and with more content and all of that. So there you go. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you in the next one. God bless.